Welcome to the 5 Keys to Communication, where you will learn to transform negative patterns in the way you relate and create enriching relationships. So this is what happens when the strongest contract to Mercury, which is all about talking and listening, is from Saturn. So if you're with somebody who has a mercury-Saturn aspect, how do they act? First of all, they tend to be a little dogmatic and pedantic. It's all about the facts. You have to stick to facts, and it can get a little bit boring, because it's like, there's not a lot of room for imagination in it. They're very sensitive about their intelligence, so that they're trying to prove their intelligence in one way or another, and they really don't like being wrong. So they get a bit defensive. They're oversensitive about being wrong. So there's a kind of subdued atmosphere in the communication. And the reason they kind of like that is because often the education was tough. Parents had high expectations, or siblings had high expectations. They made this person feel a little bit inferior. Those tendency there's often some teacher at school that made them feel stupid. So there's pretty poor school experiences, some bad teacher. So they kind of get frightened of failure, frightened of failing exams and stuff like that. And they'll overcompensate by studying very hard. So when you're with these people, you tend to experience them as being a little bit defensive. They don't like being. Hate to admit they're wrong because they think it's reflects badly on them. So they might even pretend to understand something when they don't. And they kind of, get a bit relentless with fact-based arguments, you could say. They need reassurance, that they're intelligent, that their views are valid. So Mercury-Saturn in a partner's horoscope, it makes them fearful of appearing unintelligent. But when they receive encouragement and support, then they gain a sense of mastery, mental mastery, especially as they get older. So what if you have the Mercury-Saturn contact? How do you act? Well, there's a secret fear, isn't there, of being exposed as ignorant. You compensate by mastering the facts, but you kind of put up a wall of resistance, you could say, for new arguments. So you can, you can be a little pedantic. Quiet when you're unsure, pedantic when you're confident. And this probably arises because of your relationship with sort of older siblings or parental expectations, or feeling exposed at school, or maybe, some health issue which prevented you from having, made you fall behind in some way. So what do you need to do? It's easy, if you don't understand something, you just sort of say, oh, can you repeat that? Or help me with that, I don't quite get it. Don't be sensitive about that. Now, don't be afraid to ask questions. And if you kind of failed at some educational project, which you may have done when you were young, it's cool to take this project up again in your 30s or anything like that. And because with age, you do gain a tremendous amount of qualification and mastery. And probably also, you need to work on an inner dialogue where you kind of dismiss yourself, self-dismissive inner dialogue. You need to praise yourself a lot. So when you're conscious of this kind of behavior, you learn how to transform the negative communication patterns, gaining confidence as you master new learning and skills.